Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations, coming at you today with another video on Skylanders Ring of Heroes. And today, we're going to be diving into 5 rare Skylanders that I absolutely think that you guys should be building. And if you are not building them, that is okay. You do you, baby. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm absolutely impressed with these 5 Skylanders. We're going to be taking a look at their kits and why I 100% suggest building these units. So again, before we dive in, as always, if you want to stay up to date with all of the latest and greatest mobile games, and maybe you got some games that you want to suggest down below in the comment section, please be sure to smash that red subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you get notification every time we drop a video. We cover a variety of mobile gaming content, and we would love to hear what any game you have suggested for us. And with that being said, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is going to be none other than Flashwing. That is right. So obviously, right off of the bat, if you don't already know, a lot of different players are checking her out or potentially building her. But I do know, as a side note, a lot of players are building Grilladrilla because of his early investment in the game. Now, again, I am not deterring you away from Grilladrilla. If you like his playstyle, if you like his kit, maybe his kit synergizes better with whatever the team composition that you are building, then you can absolutely try to focus and build him. But my specific reason behind me running and building Flashwing, and I think pretty much any player right now in the game could use a Flashwing, and that's going to be because she's got a massive AoE heal at a 2 mana cost at a 2-turn cooldown, which is absolutely insane. So not only is it an AoE heal, but it heals for allies for 25%. So again, just absolutely ridiculous. So and not only that, she is still a rare unit, and because she is a rare unit, you're going to be able to summon more copies of her because their summoning rate is a lot higher. So you're going to be able to basically get her, max super boosted really quick and a lot easier than you would some of the heroics and the legendary healers in the game. So again, she is very good. So, I mean, not only that, she also fits into any team composition. She doesn't really have a one team fits all or one synergy fits, this specific team comp. She's very versatile. She goes across the board with any type of team comp. Like I said, I'm utilizing her on my makeshift team. And then I know a lot of players, especially my close friends, that they're utilizing her on their team comps, and they've got completely different team comps than I do. So again, shout out to Flashwing on that. I can't stress that enough. She's done very good. If you haven't checked it out already, I know Childish Plays on YouTube has already done a spotlight video or a quick spotlight video on Flashwing and why he absolutely loves her as well. And I cannot agree more with a lot of tips in that video on Flashwing specifically. So if you haven't checked that out, you can hop over to Childish Plays channel. I highly recommend you do that anyway because the man is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to these types of games. So again, that's going to be Flashwing. Moving on to the next person, and that is going to be none other than my boy Eruptor. So if you don't know anything about Eruptor, the first thing you need to know is he is a god tier tank, baby. In my opinion, he is a ridiculously good tank at that rare quality. Not only that, the second thing is his kit is ridiculous and he fits in most team comps. Now, not all team comps, because if you're building something like a poison team comp, he's not going to fit there very well, but nevertheless, I mean, just in an overall general really good, crazy good, tank. So taking a look at some of his skills here to give you guys an example, his last one is going to be a shield that you actually get equivalent to 15% of his max HP, which is ridiculous. And not only that, he has a defense up on that max skill on his passive. So it basically says when the turn begins, grants the defense up for 15% effect on yourself for 4 freaking turns. So defense up for 4 turns. And then it says additionally grants a shield effect on yourself for 4 turns if you fall into the break status. So if you don't know what the break status is, once you pop off into a break status, oh my god, I can't even stress it enough, guys. Eruptor is just ridiculously OP. The other thing that makes him very viable is going to be his provoke, and that is going to be the first skill that he has It only costs 1 mana, and the cooldown is 2 cooldown. Now, here's going to be where the kicker is. Now, take a look at this. It says inflicts 133% of attack as damage to one enemy and grants the effect resistant rate down for 10%. And then it says also additionally grants provoke effect for yourself for 2 turns. Now, listen to this. Provoke effect for 2 turns. If you provoke an enemy, it forces that enemy to attack you as the Skylander and not your other team members. So therefore, he's basically throwing a provoke on the enemies, and then when he's throwing a provoke on that one enemy, that enemy is forced to attack him, and they're forced to attack him for 2 turns, right? Which then, again, that enemy is not attacking your allies, but guess what's crazy is the cooldown is a 2-turn cooldown. So you proc this ability, it throws provoke onto that one individual single target, then that single target is attacking you for 2 turns, your provoke goes away, but guess what? Your ability is now off of cooldown. It only costs 1 mana, it's super cheap, you hit him again with that, boom, that same hero or that same enemy is now proccing to provoke to you again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely ridiculous. He is just a ridiculously good overall. And then his second skill is going to be an AoE damage dealer, and it says inflicts 85% of attack as damage to all enemies, again consuming 2 mana and a 2-turn cooldown. So again, just a ridiculously good unit. I can't stress that enough. If you are looking for an early game to mid game tank, I do think that he might fall off in that mid to late game range. I know there is a lot of heroics that you will potentially be collecting that are really, really good as well when it comes to tanks. And there is a lot of different stages in the game that you will be swapping out of, just having a specific tank for additional damage. Because again, he's not going to be a very massive hard hitter. You don't want to build him with attack. You actually want to focus him to be basically a tank, as he is. So HP and defense, but again, very, very good. So again, I can't stress that enough. Eruptor, very good second unit. The third unit that I'm going to be featuring is going to be none other than Igniter. Now, a lot of players are currently just now getting into building Igniter. Igniter, in my opinion, and a lot of the people that I have been associated with in the community currently, from people that have been playing from 2018, trying to just mid-max and find out what works and test a variety of different Skylanders. Igniter is one of those Skylanders that I think a lot of these hardcore mid-max players are looking to bring them into that late game stage. And the reason why I say that is like that 5th and that 6th floor, I think Igniter is going to be key in order to getting a perfect 3-star auto clear, so then you can hit that times 20 baby and then grind it out. And with that being the case, like I said, his kit is ridiculously good. This guy is going to be a knockdown machine as well. Just overall in general, just a really good single target damage dealer. He's just, again, he's a nuker, he's a knockdown person, he's for a low mana cost. His skill 1, for instance, is a huge debuff and a strong nuke for only 2 freaking mana. So the first thing to take a look at here, inflicts 116% of attack as damage to one enemy. Again, he's a single target nuker, but grants the defense down effect for 2 turns with a 50% chance, after you attack accurately. So again, obviously putting, effect accuracy on him will increase that inevitably. But again, just absolutely ridiculous. At a 2 mana cost, 3-turn cooldown, he can put a defense break, and he does a ridiculous amount of damage. The next one up is going to be that inflicts 136% of attack as damage to one enemy and is able to throw the knockdown status. Again, with that single target nuking damage ability, now we are adding knockdown status, so he is going to be very, very good for boss fights where you can just constantly knock them down to do additional damage, and they are mitigating that by not doing damage to your team. And last but not least, he's got a really good one, and that is going to be if your HP gets below 50%, it increases your critical damage by 20. So again, critical damage by 20% is ridiculous OP, because if you build him on a crit build, this man is going to be critting, which means his crit damage is about to get buffed by 20% once he goes below 50% health. With, again, if you know me, or if you know anybody really that's playing the game, your heroes are going to be below that 50% mark before you complete the stage, so therefore he's going to be inevitable. He's going to proc off his 20% critical damage. So again, a very, very good single target damage nuker. The next one up we're going to be taking a look at is going to be none other than my personal DPS that I'm currently using right now on my team, and that is going to be none other than Thunderbolt. I know a lot of players right now have been sleeping on Thunderbolt. In my opinion, I think he is absolutely ridiculously good, especially he's kind of like a in my opinion, he's kind of like a cheaper version of Airstrike. So they've got similar kits, they kind of do similar statuses, and again, it's very unique. He's got a very unique skill set, and I think definitely at this max rank mark that I have, once I can fully awaken him and really get in there and test all of his ability, I think he's just going to be a really good unit. And like I said, he's going to be kind of a single target nuker as well. But to give you guys an example here, he inflicts 172% of attack as damage to one enemy and grants the electric shock effect on the target for 2 turns, and able to throw that knockdown status. So him being paired with Igniter for a knockdown combo team is going to be ridiculously good. Again, I am currently utilizing them together on my team for specific stages where I need that additional knockdown status or that additional damage. The next one up is going to be inflict 63% of attack as damage to one enemy, not once, but 2 times, and grants the effect resistance rate down by 10% with a 40% chance. So again, very, very good. And then last but not least is going to be his passive, which is not really the best passive, because unless if you are going up against an enemy that is going to throw electric shock back on to Thunderbolt, it's not really going to do you anything. So, I mean, again, so the passive is kind of a sleeper passive, but it is what it is. I think he is going to be I think currently right now for my team, he is a big dick damage dealer, but like, again, I'm building him that way. So maybe he's not very viable if you're not building him that way. But again, I just really like him for his kit. And like I said, he's just a really good single target, knockdown damage nuker as well as Igniter. And then last but not least on our list for our 5 personal RARE Skylanders to definitely check out and build, and that is going to be none other than Stealth Elf. So I originally started building Stealth Elf early game because I come from playing the 2018 version of Skylanders Ring of Heroes, and everybody, and I mean everybody, built a Stealth Elf because she was absolutely insane. So again, I don't think that this version of the game is any different. I've been checking out her kit, I've been looking at her, and not only that, I know a couple of players that are currently sitting at that 5th or that 5th floor and that 6th floor spot trying to get out a 20 times auto. And with that being the case, they are definitely utilizing her in their poison team comps, and then also just team comps in general, whether it's a crit team comp. Again, shout out to Comp to Us, man. I know I got to take a break here for 2 seconds, but shout out to Comp to Us. They have done a fantastic job, in my opinion, by removing the elemental advantages from this game. This is the first game that I've ever played with a hero collector system that did not have elemental advantages. But again, I absolutely think they have done wonders because it opens up the window for a lot of team composition and team variety. So again, shout out to you guys, man. Keep up the good work. Hopefully we can continue the community and building the community for you guys so you guys can continue to pump out awesome and fantastic content. But diving into Stealth Elf's abilities, one of what makes her really, really good is running her on a very high crit rate build, because for instance, taking a look at her dagger dash here, let's go ahead and hit the collection button here so we can see these skills at max, because I don't have them at max. But taking a look at this here, inflicts 81% of attack as damage to one enemy 2 times, but check this out, additional damage to all enemies if the attack lands as a critical hit. So she's doing damage to one enemy 2 times, but potentially hitting that critical strike rate if you have built her with critical strike, and she's going to proc off that third ability to basically an AoE damage to all enemies. So again, very, very good when it comes to a damage dealer. Her first skill is going to be a poison, so she's very good for a poison composition. I know a lot of people are trying to build her currently with an ambush team. Again, very, very viable, and again, just overall ridiculously good unit. And she also has that knockdown status as well as a decrease in attack evasion rate on the enemy as well, so they don't evade your attacks as often. But another very good skill. Again, that's why she's so viable, because all 3 of her skills are very, very good. The next one up is going to be that stealth. So she actually grants the stealth effect on yourself for 3 turns if the attack target is in the break or knockdown status after attacking the enemy. Additionally, if stealth effect is granted on yourself, it grants the crit rate up by 10% and the effect of attack up by 20% effect on yourself for 3 turns. So if you build her crit and she's getting a crit proc, an attack proc, she's going to do massive damage. Do not sleep on Stealth Elf. I'm telling you guys, she is going to be very, very good. And like I said, probably very viable to get the additional damage that you need to 3-star the 5th and 6th floor, especially at that 20 times auto. But I think that's going to be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any additional rare heroes that you would like to mention, or that you think that I skipped or I didn't put in here as a mistake. I would love to hear what you guys have to think and what you have to say. And not only that, it helps out the other players who are trying to build team synergies and team comps as well. So again, thank you guys very much. I love every one of you guys for all of the love and the support that you have shown the channel. And please sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notification every time we drop a video. And I will see you guys on the next one.